Hi, sports fans. How's it going? We are back in the middle of this marathon prep. This is the last hobby stream before the marathon, unless you count Saturday's Journeys with Meg. This upcoming Sunday, as we've talked about already, we are going to be giving away a fully painted Blood Bowl.
That's right.
This past Sunday, Meg and I painted the referees.
Yeah, we got them sitting right here.
Yep, they're here. They're adorable. And this today.
Not yesterday's today.
Today's today. Cire and I are painting. These are not the star players, but these are the what are they called? The mercenary
free agents, something. The guys who are not, they're not actually like a regular member of the team.
This is an interesting mechanic in Blood Bowl. It seems to be, I was kind of looking at some of the free agents, it seems to be that you can take a team that's maybe lacking something and pick up a free agent to help. So our two teams are fairly average, I think. I think yours is a little, the Orcs. By our two teams, I mean, we've decided that Megan and Cire are teamwork and me and Brett are
Team Human.
Team Human. Those two teams, the Nobility and the Black Orcs, seem somewhat average.
Yeah.
In and around the average area.
Yeah, not super specialized, but, run of the middle of the pack.
And we each have kind of a brawler. I have an ogre.
And I have a troll.
Yeah.
Mine's actually not fair because I have two models.
Yours is two models.
Yeah.
So here's the ogre. This is where I've gotten him up to. You can actually now see the Imperial Nobility colors we're going with. We did have a mandrill vote. Yep. We did select purple. And we promptly decided that it would be yellow and purple along with the bronze.
Yes.
And I like this because this is my favorite football team, especially because I like college football a little more than professional football. And by football, of course, I'm talking American football. And I went to Louisiana State University, so this is the Tigers colors, LSU Tigers.
Yep.
So it works out great for me. That's him.
Cool. And then this is my troll. No association with the colors. I didn't go to a school that had purple and green as colors, but
does anyone have purple and green as colors?
That's a good question.
Why is the troll not?
There we go.
The ogre focused immediately.
Yeah. He's more focused.
Yeah.
So here's the troll.
Probably somewhat true.
I've been working on. I'm pretty happy with how the nose came out.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah. He's got his little guy up there. He's throwing the man who has the football. And so when the poll went up asking about what colors, Zach and Meg didn't know that I had already started painting my team purple.
Right. Well, actually, that's not true. Cire's being nice. We kind of did because you kind of told us, and then we kind of ignored it because. And the funny thing about it is when we put the colors up, we got red lights, we got super chat. It turns red like we're.
It's kind of scary.
It's like a terrifying Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
We kind of decided that we said, well, what kind of colors go together? Red and silver, or red and gold is like Niners.
Yeah.
Silver and blue is like Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't think that there is really a bronze and purple team, but bronze, the Imperial Nobility has a lot of like. Whenever I've seen them paint it. It looks like they have armor.
Yeah.
And so we wanted a metallic, and we picked purple. And it was funny. I told Meg, I was like, that one's gonna win.
Yeah,
that's like the coolest one. And it immediately took off.
Yeah.
And then you messaged us, but that's okay. So sorry, Mandrills, we are doing purple like you asked, but we're doing a little bit of yellow.
Slight modification.
Yeah. We also did do.
He's listen, this guy's gonna be out for the rest of the season if he keeps falling like that.
We also we used kind of a warmer purple here.
Yeah.
We used a little bit of a cooler and a lighter purple.
Yeah. So we tried after the purple was decided. We just tried to go the opposite spectrums of purple. There's actually kind of an interesting story about these purples. I'm not gonna go fully into it, but there's like American purple, which is violet. And then European purple, which is like what you're doing, which is like red.
I heard you use the term European purple earlier today, and I was like, I'm not gonna...
Don't engage.
I'm not engaging further with him on this.
There's just kind of different perceptions of the color, so you're much more of the European, and I'm representing American football with 2 O's.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, big reminder here, we are doing this giveaway. It is this Sunday, December 10th. 10 p.m. We have quite a crew going to be here. Me, Cire, Meg, Brett. We also have a few others. So please do consider joining. And, of course, we'll give you guys information on how to put yourself in a position to win this box set.
Yeah, tell your friends. Tell your friends swing by.
People.
That's important.
Yeah.
For the contest, make sure we're getting as many people with their eyes and chance to win. Eyes on it and chance to win.
Awesome. I'm going to jump in and start painting. How about you?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Molecule says, this today, multiverse confirmed. Is this Prime, Zach, and Cire? What does that mean exactly?
No, we're not the main. The multiverse we're in is like one of the bad offshoots.
We're in a bad multiverse?
We're not in the good main universe. This is like universe like X.
Is this a Marvel thing?
I mean it's a multiverse thing, which is part of Marvel. It doesn't have to be Marvel. It could be DC as well.
Okay, it's a superhero thing. So thank you. And thank you, Soups, for gifting a Hobby Collab membership. Looks
Sean
like
Murphy.
Got Sean Murphy, really awesome.
Welcome, Sean, if you're here.
Yeah. Okay, so as you saw, both Cire and I, we've been kind of, not just Cire and I, but Meg as well, have been increasingly starting the streams trying to have our models that we paint closer and closer to being finished.
Yes.
Every now and then, I think we almost go too far, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, and I actually have a backup model just in case, which is a regular orc.
Yeah, I like it. For the team though. He's one of the
Yeah, I've got this guy. You want to give me
He's actually huge.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Here's our star player.
Is he the star player?
That's here's our star player. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not nearly as far along as the ogre, but if I somehow finish the ogre, I will start working on him. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to hop in front of the camera first, or you want me to hop in front of the camera first?
We can switch it around, so right? You want?
Yeah, I'll hop in there first.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I'm just doing some straps on this guy right now. Little Corvus Black here. But I do have to say that, so I started painting this model today. That's what I've been doing for a bunch of today.
All today.
Today's today.
Today's today, not yesterday. Not tomorrow's today either.
Yeah, today's today. And I haven't painted an ogre in a while, so it's kind of fun.
Sweet. I've never painted a troll, so this is exciting for me.
I don't think I've ever painted... Well, no, I did paint a troll. Not a Citadel troll, though.
Oh, gotcha.
One of the Reaper mini things that Meg and I did.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm just adding a little bit of... I'm just glazing a little bit darker red into some of the shadows here. Just, because I want to increase the contrast a little bit more. This is kind of a weird experiment for me. I'm really bad at glazing. So I took this opportunity, a model that I'm not going to keep,
perfect,
to try a new technique.
Yeah.
And that's where I ended. That's how I got his nose, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think the glazing actually came out pretty decent. Yeah.
Now we do have our recipes up here, by the way.
Yeah, we do have our recipes for the skin. So yeah, I started with Vallejo Dead Flesh, which is, you can get it in a primer. You can also just base coat it though. It's kind of gross. Here it is, you'll see. Kind of a gross green.
Oh, interesting.
Looks real nasty. And then I highlighted with Vallejo Golden Olive, which is this color right here. A little bit higher. Still kind of like, I don't know, natural. Like, it's not like a vibrant neon or anything. And then I put a coat of Mantis Warriors Green, which is a mantis. Which is a contrast. Which is a mantis. I cut up a mantis and put it all over.
And they're in danger. You're in trouble.
Yeah. And then highlight in some very select areas. So it's called Scorpy Green now. It used to be called Escorpina Green, which is Scorpion Green. It's very confusing. Yeah, that's how I got his skin. I just left his belly there. I think that I just left it golden olive. So there we go. That's where I am at.
I've decided I'm doing my gluing things to the base trick.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I'll snap them off a little later.
Cool.
Although I have to be careful because the peg is going to make snapping off hard. Did we say we're going to utilize the peg or not?
I utilized it.
You're going to utilize it?
Yeah, just because.
Did you make a base for the ogre?
Yeah.
Is it going to utilize the peg?
No.
Oh, so I can snap off.
Yeah.
Or I could just...
You could punch it through.
I can punch it through.
Yeah. Okay, what was I doing? So I glazed in a little bit of red. I need to work on the leather bits. So I'm going to grab Harvest Brown from MSP. And I'm just going to put some scratches all over the leather parts. I'm going with a black leather. This is kind of my preferred way. Is to make black leather look distressed. Because it's difficult to just make... Because once you start highlighting black, it's kind of a weird... It just starts to look brown. So. Just tapping the edges.
Now, a little bit later, in a few minutes here, we will actually hear from Cire about his sports hero. On Sunday,
Right.
Meg and I talked about our sports hero. And you might recall that Meg's was Togo the dog.
And you were Cal Ripken?
Mine was Cal Ripken. I think Cal Ripken, a pretty legitimate sports hero. Togo the dog, I suppose, also, but, you know.
He's more of a traditional hero. As opposed to a sports hero.
Yeah, he's not really... Yeah,
Alright, so I'm just tapping the edges here. Getting the little scratchy marks where I can. Ooh, okay, I'm going to have to go back and touch that up a little bit, but...
Yeah, this guy kind of has a slot peg type thing going on, but it's not
It's not the full thing. It's like a quarter of one, right?
So, I'm just going to glue him. I was trying to get him to stay that way, but it's not working. So, okay. Well, Cire's doing that. I'm doing just some unfun stuff here. Just some basic uniform stuff. And I need to highlight up his bronze a little bit and his skin a little bit. I'll show you guys that in a little bit here.
Yeah, also make sure you guys are giving your opinions on the poll. Now, okay, Zach said, isn't destruction just like the most right option? And yeah, immediately that's what people started saying. I don't 100% disagree.
Well, so at first we said football.
Yeah.
American football, because that's what Blood Bowl is based off of. And then we changed it to just sports ball, because we know that's like a funny nerd thing to say, like, haha, sports ball. And we thought maybe that would change things up, right?
Yeah.
Change people's opinions on who would be best at sports ball.
Yeah, because would the Orcs be best at baseball? Come on now. I don't think so.
Yeah. That seems like actually really maybe more of an elf or a dwarf
Yeah,
sport.
exactly. If you're doing just football, I could see destruction. I think we were talking about how, sure, destruction probably has like really good offense, probably really good defense, but they probably have terrible special teams.
Probably bad special teams, probably bad play calling.
Yeah, bad play calling. They're probably super susceptible to trick plays.
Uh-huh.
I
think so.
I feel like they would have a winning season, but I don't know if they'd be able to take it all the way every season.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it does look like Destruction's a winner.
Yeah, reconsider your options.
Yeah,
well.
think about all the sports balls.
Yeah.
Would they be good at volleyball?
Yeah, exactly. Come on, destruction.
They might just
winning at volleyball. That's an elf sport through and through.
Yeah. Now I think we are wondering how good death or maybe even chaos would be at a sport.
Chaos would be good at like. What sport would they be good at? They'd probably be pretty good at like martial arts.
What?
Like
MM? Like
yeah, they'd
MMA?
be. Yeah, I was thinking more like Olympic martial arts.
Why do you think that?
Because they're not gonna win like MMA is probably still destruction. But if if there's some amount of technique, I could see Chaos winning judo or taekwondo.
Interesting. All right. It's kind of funny to think about what is required to be good in a different sport. And I feel like overall what you're told is discipline, typically.
Yeah.
To practice and to put time into it. I'm not sure that actually really describes any faction other than Order, any Grand Alliance other than Order.
I think Chaos has enough structure,
Yeah, enough. Yeah.
Cobra Kai is probably, maybe not fully Chaos, but at least in the first one, they are kind of evil.
Okay. Interesting.
They'd be willing to cheat. So.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Now, speaking of Blood Bowl, Cire, what Blood Bowl faction were you looking into? What Blood Bowl faction excites you the most?
Well, the fact that they don't have a Chaos Beastman team was kind of a bummer. Unless we just didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. And the new website's really great, so if it was there, you'd have seen it.
Yeah, it's very easy to navigate.
It's pretty straightforward, yeah.
So, I guess... Oh, I was looking at the teams. I'm kind of interested in the Skaven. I was kind of interested in, funnily enough, this team.
Oh, okay.
I think regular orcs...
The black orcs?
Yeah. I'll probably just take regular orcs over them, though. They seem a little more balanced. And then, obviously, the Snotling team, which is, they're never going to win a game, but they're at least fun.
Crud Creek Pickers, or whatever they're called. Yeah. Yeah, Meg has the Magakin team.
Yeah.
The Nurgle team. I actually just ordered the Dwarf team, which is currently not on GW's site for some reason. At all. Not even they're sold out, but just, not there. But they have rules for them, and I got them somewhere else. I'm going to chalk that up, hopefully, to something's up with the website. Not... They're discontinuing them for some reason.
Who knows?
Who knows? They won't be present anymore in any of the rulebooks. But that's hard to believe because they're dwarves. Of course, there's going to be a dwarf team. Blood Bowl set in the old world, so there's got to be a dwarf team.
Yeah. They have multiple Skaven teams, which is
kind of weird, right?
Where's my Beastman team?
It is a little weird that there are multiple Skaven teams. And there's multiple undead teams as well. That's not as weird.
No Slanesh team.
No Slanesh
or Zinch
team currently.
Zinch probably wouldn't show up to football, though. Come on.
You don't think Zinch would play football?
No.
They have the Ogreoid Therodons in AOS, though.
That's true.
They have the Ogrein guys, and they have Screamers. If you put a little basket. Ooh, what if they had Screamers with a little basket and they were receivers? That'd be pretty.
Okay, cute. That'd be pretty.
That'd be cute, right? Like two Screamers with a basket on the back, and they're just the quarterback's just trying to throw into the basket.
That's pretty good.
Thanks again, Stoops, for the gifted memberships. It looks like our lights aren't flashing though when we get a membership. Usually we do. We've set that up. I don't know what's up with that today. We had some issues with it, so. Hopefully we get that back up and running
soon. Yeah,
because it's fun. And Cire wanted to be here for the flashing lights, and
I did. And there we broke them.
We broke them. All
right,
Cire.
Yes.
Let's talk about your sports hero.
Okay, so I kind of cheated.
You kind of cheated. Now let's recap. Like we said, Meg picked Togo, the dog who less famous than Balto, but one of the dogs who helped Nome, Alaska. I think this is in the 1920s or something. There's a dysphoria, what's it called? Outbreak. And they had to go collect medicine in the middle of the winter. Kind of a big thing. So they sent these dogs to go get it. I picked Cowrican Jr. Because he played the American... I guess I don't need to say American baseball. do I? Huh? It's just
yeah. Everyone plays the same, more or less same rules.
Keeps breaking. Most consecutive games played.
Right.
At 2,000. Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
2,673, I think?
No, 32. 2,632.
Okay.
Basically, a couple decades worth of baseball.
It's a lot of baseball.
It's a lot of baseball. And was also like a good player while doing it. It's not just like he was a...
He wasn't just showing
He wasn't
up.
like an average player or like below average even that you could just count on being there.
Yeah.
Okay, but you went a different route. Talk to us about your different route.
Okay.
Here. Who is this? What is this?
So,
What's happening here?
So, I couldn't choose just one sports hero. I decided to choose everyone in the 1904 Olympics.
Very few people in the Hobby Collab understood the assignment.
Yeah.
Just me.
Hey, listen, none of us are sports
yeah.
people.
Okay, talk to us. You came in and like you had this like queued up ready to go. Talk to me about what this is.
Okay. So if you've never heard of the 1904 Olympics, I'm not going to do it justice. You should just go look it up.
There's an article that we read, and even after reading the article, you were like, that's not even happening.
That's not even all of it. Okay. So we're going to talk about the marathon section. Okay, so marathon was like the main event of the Olympics in 1904. And so so it was held in the U.S., and, things were a little looser in 1904, so...
St. Louis.
St. Louis, right. So for this event...
The looser is an interesting word, and
they allowed... Okay, first of all, they just allowed people to enter the race. Mm-hmm. This was, like, no qualifying event beforehand. It's not like you were on an Olympic team. They just said, yeah, we have the Olympic teams, and if you want to show up, just show up to run.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. The marathon wasn't 26 miles, it was 25, so it already wasn't a marathon. Mm-hmm. It was held, it was like 90 degrees, and like 100% humidity, so it was a terrible day to run. The course was not paved or maintained. There were areas of it that were just rocks, and like big stones.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dust. There was a lot of cars. It was the early 1900s, so people were, really making use of their cars. So there was a lot of cars kicking up dust. So much so that several people had to stop. One person almost died because of one of the runners almost died because they inhaled so much dust it tore up the lining of their esophagus. Was it stomach?
Lungs?
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, it was very bad.
Which I didn't even know could happen.
Yeah. Okay, so our person here on screen was a man from Cuba. Mm-hmm. Again, not an official runner or anything, but he was a pretty good runner in Cuba. Came over to the United States.
Routinely ran around the island.
Yeah, he was a mailman.
He was a mailman.
Mailman.
Okay.
So he showed up. He wanted to be in the Olympics. Again, he showed up in pants, long sleeve shirt, and just some regular street shoes, not running shoes, 1904 dress shoes by our standards.
Yeah, definitely by our standards. Yeah. I was gonna say dress casual, but that wasn't a thing in 1904.
Yeah. Right? So he shows up,
and also he had no money. Right?
No, right.
This was kind of mattered, but
the night before he showed up in the U.S. The night before, lost all his money. In a dice game.
Yeah.
So he showed up with no money. Is that was his name? Yeah. So he shows up, and no, that wasn't his name.
That was his.
Someone, another runner felt bad for him, so he lent him some scissors to cut his pants into shorts.
Yeah, which is what you're seeing.
Which is what you're seeing here.
Those are short.
And so here I'll just hit all the other highlights. Mm-hmm. All right. So there were a couple of people from an African tribe showed up from South Africa, I believe.
Yeah.
Southern Africa.
I think they were kind of... So, okay, can I add something real quick here? So, what we read is that also this is the World's Fair was going on here.
Yeah.
And there was weird... They were having these weird also completely nowadays cringy, inappropriate showing off tribal people from different areas.
Yeah.
For the American audience
to come gawk
at. To gawk at is exactly the right word. And so then they just went ahead and had some of them run in the marathon.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, go run in this marathon. So 2 of them were running, doing pretty well, until one of them got chased by some wild dogs.
Yeah.
Of course, by about a mile.
That was pretty wild. We were like, why did they just why only that one guy? Like
just randomly attacked by some dogs. Got ran off course by a mile.
Yeah.
This guy right here, the mailman.
Yeah.
Was doing very well. Also, I need to add in the fact that during this 25-mile race, there were only 2 water stops.
Yeah.
And they were both in the first half of the race.
One at 6 and one at 12.
One at 6 and one at 12.
Yeah.
And the reasoning is the guy who's putting on the event just decided that he was curious how far the human body could be pushed concerning dehydration.
So dehydration was like we were reading this in the Smithsonian article. It was like studying dehydration was popular around.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, let's science experiments were kind of willy-nilly, and they were like, hey, let's just see let's
just see what happens if we take the water away from these runners. Yeah. So, yeah, and then on top of all the dust, right? Mm-hmm. So this guy's running, this Mr. Mailman, he's running, there's no water, so he sees some people hanging out in a car. They're eating peaches. He says, hey, can I have one of those? They say, no, you cannot have any of our peaches.
People I thought were supposed to be nice in old times.
Well,
they're not.
It doesn't matter because he took them out of the car. He just stole two peaches, ate them, and ran away. So I want to emphasize, this guy was doing very well. He was also just stopping to talk with random people. He would just stop the run and just have a conversation with passersby.
He was talking to people a lot.
Further along in the race, again, he's super dehydrated, so he stops into an apple orchard, picks a couple apples, eats them. Turns out they're rotten, so he gets stomach aches, starts getting cramps. So he just lays down and takes a rest and just takes a nap in the middle of
the Summer Olympics. Now that I think about it, apples, apples in the summer off trees. Like, how did he not know they're rotten? They must have been brown.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, well, there was no water, so...
He's desperate.
Yeah. So, he stops in, eats some rotten apples, has a nap, continues on with the race after his little nap. There was an American who was running. He got stomach cramps. We're not sure what from, whether it was dehydration or inhaling so much dust. He gets out of the race, says, I'm done, hops in a car that's heading towards the finish line, and just sits on the car for about 11 miles. Mm-hmm. The last very small bit of the race, he hops off the cars because he wants to walk across at about 3 hours. They think he won.
And he's like, haha.
They think he's won the race. And they're like, oh, look, an American won. This is great. He's like, yeah, awesome. And then someone says, that guy's cheating.
Yeah.
He did not finish the race. He was just in a car. They give him the wreath and everything. Yeah. And then they start, say, he's a cheater.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I was just kidding. It was just a prank, bro. I wasn't going to actually accept the medal, obviously.
This is so insane. This should be a movie.
This really should be a movie.
Yeah.
So the president's daughter's there and gives him the wreath, and then he starts getting booed. So he's like, oh, I was just kidding. It was just a prank.
Yep. President at the time, Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was another man who's running, an accomplished American runner.
Yeah, there were actually legit runners.
Yeah, there were legit runners in this. He also started to fade. He was getting super dehydrated. So his trainers are with him. So they gave him, what was it called? Skiathlon?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We looked this up. I can't remember what it was called. We looked it up, and it is it's a poison.
Yeah.
We were like, what is that? It was that mixed with egg whites, and we were like, what is this? And we looked it up,
it's just a poison.
It's a mild poison.
They just gave him some poison. They gave him poison and egg whites.
At the time, it was considered a stimulant.
Yes.
And there was no rules against
there's no rules against
drugs.
No rules against performance-enhancing drugs, so they're giving him
this poison.
Ultimately, it was poison, though.
Right.
So, they gave him some, let's just see how he does. And he asked for more later, and so they gave it to him with brandy. Brandy, egg whites, and this poison. And he was doing pretty well up until the very end of the race, where he started to go slightly catatonic. And they had to carry him across the finish line. They picked him up, and his legs were just kind of running through the air.
Yeah.
But they counted it as him finishing, as his trainers crossed across the finish line.
And
yeah.
Wait, so did he win?
No, he didn't win. I don't remember exactly who won. I know this guy right here, the guy who stopped to talk to people, stole some peaches, ate some rotten apples, and took a nap.
Mm-hmm.
I think he came in fourth.
Okay.
Fourth or fifth.
I think an actual legit runner did end up winning.
Yeah.
Which is like the only thing that made any sense in this whole... we were reading it, and I was like, what the heck is this?
The man who got chased a mile off course, I think he came in like 12th. Yeah. And there was also just, it was an insane event. If you haven't, there's more to it. There's even more ridiculous stuff than that. You should read up on it. It's the 1904 Olympics.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
Right. The big thing that made it such a spectacle was that there was this desire to kind of combine the Olympics and the World's Fair into a single event.
Yeah.
And to sort of have them vibing off each other a little bit. And that's according to the Smithsonian magazine article we were reading. And so right away is all this stuff just like right out of the gate was insane.
Yeah.
And like just being like, and like the many people like this, the South African tribal delegates were in bare feet.
Yeah. Yeah, they showed up with no shoes.
They had no shoes. Like they didn't. And we were talking afterwards that like running a marathon is intense. It's based off of something that may or may not have happened in Greek mythology or Greek history. But what is said is that the person who ran it died.
Yeah, he ran his 26 miles and then died.
And it is actually, people have, for a lot of assumptions, people have gotten much better at much faster, taller, stronger,
better shoes.
Technology, of course, plays a huge role in it, right? And I was saying to you earlier, I was like, I don't know that you'd be able to find a lot of people in 1904 that could run a marathon.
Yeah.
Whereas today, you could train up anyone to be able to run a marathon. I feel like it might actually be hard to even find people that you could train up
in 1904.
In 1904 to run a marathon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to also point out that the mailman was only 5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. He's a little guy.
He was short, so like not like typical runner physique.
Oh my god.
It's an amazing story.
It's a wild story. I had never heard of it. I kind of want to read more about it now.
It's absolutely insane.
In general, I just want to read... because actually, one of the things that this article also mentioned was that there was a number of insane things at this Olympics.
Yeah, it was not just the marathon.
The marathon might have... this article kind of said was the coup de grace, so to speak. But... the author, she was also talking about some like we mentioned the tribal that's very cringy nowadays and kind of made it seem like it was cringy then too.
Yeah, they were like, these Americans are kind of backwards.
They largely knew that was like kind of a cringy thing to do even back then. So it seemed kind of wild. Is one word for it, I guess.
Yeah. So those are anyone who participated in that race is my hero, my sports hero.
Sorry, I'm gonna jump into the camera view here and show peeps where I'm at.
Yeah.
Let me get my pointer stick. We'll talk about a couple things here. Okay, so here's the ogre. Now the ogre skin recipe I did, it gives a little bit more of like kind of like an ashen flesh look, and this is actually the same recipe I do largely on like these claw raiders. So heads up, if you want a more kind of fleshy warmth in your ogre, don't use this recipe, or adjust it at the very least. So here's my guy. I'll talk about where I'm at on him. So on the bronze, we did Balthazar Gold and then Retributor armor. And the way I actually really like doing and figuring out where to put Retributor armor is flashing lights.
Oh, hey, they're working.
Something's happening.
Oh. Who knows?
Yeah, who does know? So one of the ways I really like to figure out where to put, after I've put the Balthazar Gold down, where to put the Retributor armor, is I'll kind of sit at the desk here with the lights we have, and I'll rotate them until I think the shine is at a cool place.
Right.
And then I'll just paint that. and I'll hold them still, and I'll just paint the Retributor armor over that. I think that is a cool way of doing it. So that's one thing that has happened. Now, before I did the Retributor armor, I also washed the Balthazar Gold with Seraphim Sepia. I really like washing copper with Seraphim Sepia. Mm-hmm. Okay, we talked about his pants. His pants are just a bunch of different yellows. Mostly Citadel here, or all Citadel that I used. And then we've got this kind of redder, deeper, the deeper European red.
European red, which
European
is more of a
purple. European purple.
It's more of a. It has more red than blue.
Yeah. So great. There's that, and you can see my ogre recipe there for skin. Make sure when you do, if you want to do this kind of look, make sure this look would also probably be good for like if you're doing mortals, like chaos mortals, like Khorne maybe, or even Slanesh. You want to kind of like not quite undead.
Yeah, but like a little, a little maybe not full of life, maybe.
Yeah. Make sure when you do this wash of Agrax, or say the third step I have here, you really get it into the crevices, because you're going to be relying on that dark, those dark areas to kind of shine through, so to speak, over the next like light colors.
Right.
The only step I have left to do is the Terminata Stone highlight, so I'm gonna actually do that now.
See?
Yeah.
All right. I'll just give a quick update on what I'm doing. I'm just doing these bones here. I'm just working on some bone here. As you can see, he's got some bones, bone trinkets, and I'm just stippling it on.
And you're working on them.
Yeah, and I'm working on them.
So the bones there, and I'm gonna be just working on the bones.
On the bones, and the bones are gonna get worked on. There he is.
Ah, you idiot! Come
on. All right. Well, stippling here.
Sir, have you ever played Blood Bowl?
I have never. Well, okay, so I've played the video game, which is apparently just the same thing, right?
I actually don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the same rule set. It's just a video game.
Okay.
So yes, I would say I have played Blood Bowl.
Okay.
And it's quite fun. It's very good. You should play it, honestly.
Yeah.
We were already talking about, buying some teams, getting our own teams. So I'm down.
Yeah.
I am down.
I remember actually when the dwarves came out a few years back, I was playing a lot of 40K with a guy who also was in the Blood Bowl at the time, and I almost kind of pulled the trigger when the dwarves came out. I thought they looked very cool.
Oh, nice.
I guess for whatever reason I didn't. I also kind of think I did, and then did something with, I gave them away or something.
Just disappeared.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I have a memory of actually getting them. But I know they're not here anymore because we've done a ton of inventory about what we have here in the studio. And I know I don't have them now, but I kind of have vague memories of owning them.
Where is my ogre? There we go. All right, I'm just working on details now. I've got some rope. He's got some rope here that I'm gonna just pick out the detail on. And then I think after that I'm gonna put a wash on the bone, and then I gotta work on. He has this leather strap going across his chest that I need to work on as well. So I'm not as far along as I thought. We were scared that we might just finish, not have much to do.
Yeah. It's just like 12 minutes into the stream, just call it. All right, guys, we did it.
We did it. But no, I've got plenty to do.
I won't get onto the decal today. We probably will put the whole team together and figure out what's going with the decals based off of that. I feel a little weird doing a decal right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is going on with the rest of the Imperial Nobility team, so definitely need to investigate.
Coordinate, yeah.
Coordinate, yeah. What was I about to do on this guy? Something. Face is pretty much done. Oh, he needs teeth. Do you have a white over there, like a normal white?
I do. I've got dead white. Here you go.
This is Vallejo Game Color.
Yes, quite good. Their new formulation too, so it's a little more matte than previously. If you've ever used.
Oh, they didn't just make a whole new line. Vallejo Color.
No, they actually just upped the
Vallejo
they
Color
just,
matte.
Yeah, they didn't make Vallejo Super Game Color or anything.
Does it really matter that it's matte though, because of all the varnishing you're going to be doing?
Yeah, maybe not for me. It doesn't, but they know I'm not the only person.
For people who do varnish less.
Which those poor people.
Those poor sad people.
Poor sops.
Oh, I know what I was going to do. His eye black. I'm going to put a little eye black. Typically, only receivers wear eye black.
Yeah.
This guy is probably not a receiver.
He doesn't have the build of a receiver,
however, I mean, you know what? He could be a tight end, which means he could, run out 10 towards, turn,
toss the ball,
smash some people around him, and then catch a short pass.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Definitely could see that.
So we'll give him a little bit of... this brush is going to be too thick for this.
All right.
So, are you a American football fan?
I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've said it before. I kind of stopped watching around 2005.
That's a long time ago.
Well, it's very specific. There's a specific moment I stopped watching.
Oh, boy.
It was the playoff game between the Raiders and the Patriots, and I feel like the Raiders got robbed off of a very controversial play, and that was kind of the end for me.
You were in high school in 2000.
I think I was younger than that. I was in like middle school. But I just kind of stopped watching after that.
Wow.
Then
the Raiders left. Now the Raiders aren't.
Now the Raiders aren't even here anymore.
Yeah. But you're okay. For some reason, I thought you were a Niners.
I became a Niners light fan. I would say a fair weather Niners fan.
The Bay Area is the place I've lived where people were kind of the most insane sports fans.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Sorry, let me say this. Actually, insane. I mean it in a healthy way. Like loyal, good. Like there's a lot of sports fan. There's a lot of love for the four major teams here. The Warriors, the Niners.
A's, who are also gone now.
Not the A's. There's no love for them. The Giants and the Sharks down here in San Jose. There's a lot of love for the four teams, and even for the Quakes, to be honest with you, which is
soccer team,
the professional soccer team we have. As far as insane goes, that's Philly. That's certainly Philadelphia. But as far as just people being sports fans, seeing people talking about it a lot, seeing the products of the sports flags, people's cars.
People get into it.
Yeah, people, and I think it's probably because I got here at a time when almost all four of them were doing very well.
Okay.
Meg and I moved here in 2011, and for the past decade, largely all four of the sports teams are at least contenders.
Yeah.
Right, especially the Warriors, but. The Sharks as well. The Sharks are almost always contenders.
Yeah. I mean, people forget about the other teams, though, like the Kings.
Well, the Kings are Sacktown.
Yeah.
Or Sacramento. And,
I forget about them. There was a time where I liked the Kings. But,
Sacramento is almost a weird town to have a sports.
It is the capital, but, it's also, not super. I guess it is more populous now.
Is it?
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. Oakland has lost both of its teams. Sort of sad.
Yeah. Bummer.
They're both going to Vegas.
That's right.
Which, you know, look, I mean...
It's weird that Vegas didn't have a team for so long.
Either of these, for either football or baseball. I think that, yeah, I mean...
my guess is Vegas will be pursuing a basketball team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they got a soccer team. Or a soccer team. They have the Golden Knights, the hockey team. Also relatively new, relatively new. I mean, they're an entirely new team for hockey.
Oh, okay, that's NHL?
Yeah. I mean, they're not new anymore, but
yeah.
They're the newest team in the NHL, I believe.
Oh, okay. I don't think I even knew that. But
yeah, they're a couple years old.
Okay. Maybe I didn't know that, but demographics change, cities grow.
Yeah.
And other cities don't grow. And
Seattle Krakens are the newest NHL team. Okay, I've never even heard of them. Have you ever heard of the Seattle Krakens?
Maybe. I mean, Liberty Fires, I know, is a hockey. If I heard of him, it's probably from him. But
okay.
I don't super follow NHL, even though it is really cool to go. Have you been to a Sharks game down here?
I've not been.
Yeah. It's fun, actually.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time. And San Jose's kind of like manageable as far as both parking a car and like walking around interesting places.
Yeah.
This is a big problem with Oakland teams, right? Is that they're
in the Coliseum.
Their teams were like their stadiums were put in industrial areas where there wasn't anything else.
Yeah.
And
you basically have to take the train, the bus.
Yeah, and then you got out of the game, and it's like you're not going anywhere to get a drink.
Yeah.
SF, by contrast, has a different problem, which is that there's not enough interesting or cool bars at all. They have some, but not enough. And the area is packed. San Francisco's just packed. There's a lot of people there for how big it is. You get out of a game in San Francisco, and it's like, I mean, unless you leave in the sixth inning.
Yeah,
from a Giants game,
you're stuck.
You're stuck, and you're not getting into a bar.
Yeah.
Easily because it's going to be packed, right?
Yeah.
There's only a handful, and you got to run around, check which one you want to go to. But actually, San Jose is a pretty good sweet spot. Like every time Meg and I have gone to a Sharks game, we've been able to park near the stadium, or at the stadium's lot. I don't think they charge you that much. It's like, of course, it's probably like $20, but it's not insane, right?
Yeah.
And then people just walk to like nearby bars and stuff, and we've always been able to get in somewhere. So it's kind of a good experience actually currently. Might not always be that way. Whew. How's it going?
It's going. I'm trying some new techniques here. I'm trying out some glazing.
Yeah.
Which is, again, I think I mentioned at the beginning, it's not a strong point.
Not your favorite thing?
No.
All right, I'll show some Ogre progress here. Here he is. There we go. There he is. So the uppermost highlight has been added to his face. I will probably give him beady, shiny black eyes with non-oil gloss, and or after I varnish him, probably dip a little gloss in there. Thanks, Cass, for the gifted membership.
Oh, thank you, Cass. I was like, well, the lights are going again.
Yeah, thank you. And what else is left to do on him? Now I'm just going to kind of bring him up a little bit. So that kind of bone-colored plaque right there is where a decal is going to end up going. So I'm gonna leave that. I'm guessing I might. Sarah did give me a white, so I think I'm going to bring that up a little bit here and now. How is yours looking?
It's looking good. I still need to put that bone wash. I think I'm going to use Skeleton Horde, which is like a contrast version of Seraphim Sepia. Yeah, here we go. I did a little bit of rope. I did a little bit extra on his cloak here. As you can see, I'm glazing it up. I think what I'm going to do next is after I get the bones washed, I've got to do a little bit of work on the goblin up top. He's got some shoes I need to base coat. But I want to do a little bit of freehand on his pauldron, his shoulder pad here. I think I'm just going to do like, kind of an orky tribal design or something like that.
So, right, you and I were chatting, and I kind of want you to go over this conversation again.
Okay.
You and I were chatting before. I was mentioning to you that I have to say that after about a year plus now of usage of Contrast and Citadel Shade,
right.
I don't really, I don't really. I understand that they're different. I can tell that the formulas are different. I can tell that the contrast is thicker than the shade, etc., etc. But I was saying that usage-wise, I typically will kind of reach for, here's the other thing that factors into this, by the way, is that we've been doing, all you, me, and Megan especially have been doing more like, here's a model, it's not your army, now paint it.
Yes.
And when you paint, and it's a single model, you might not need to memorize the recipe.
Yeah.
Or you might kind of, like it's one of these marathons and we're just collecting what we have and working through stuff. Sometimes we'll go out, like for Smaug, Megan went out and grabbed a few paints. But, and so we're often, like literally the phrase I would use, I'm often kind of reaching for something that's not a typical acrylic. And I'm using that paint to do shading or whatever.
Yeah, it's for a short-term project, they're just kind of a good go-to because you don't need to, be super precise. And, on a long-term project, you want to make sure you have everything, exact, right?
So I guess what I'm asking is, like, how do you feel like, because I kind of noticed that with you, because you specifically asked for a skeleton horde and not Seraphim Sepia, but, like, are you feeling like there's what makes you want to contrast over a... I gave one example, which was the stitching on him.
Right.
I wouldn't really want to try sink a contrast around it.
Right.
To shade it, because it would clump up a little bit too much. It clings.
Right.
It clings, right? But what makes you, like, grab for a shade as opposed to grab for a contrast?
So I think... Weirdly enough, I think it is kind of what you're saying, is that I want it to... I found that when I do a shade, I feel like I need to do it all over, because if I don't, it tends to leave stains, watermarks, or coffee stains, whatever you want to call them. I find that it's easier to work with, in my experience, contrast.
Okay, so let me give you an example. Here, I'll put the ogre back on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, on the ogre...
Mm-hmm.
Here. One thing that I like to do whenever a cloth hits metal, and I'm working on the Cities Army, Cities of Sigma Army, that this happens a lot. One thing I like to do is I typically like to take a shade.
Yep.
And you're maybe saying you would use a contrast for what I'm about to describe. I typically like to take a shade. In this case, I use Seraphim Sepia. And I right where the armor meets the cloth, I'll run the shade kind of,
Yeah,
it's almost a version of pin washing.
Yeah, pin washing. I think, for me, I think I prefer contrast for that.
For that, okay.
Because it tends to, the whole point of contrast is that it seeks out crevices and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So that's why I think I prefer them. Also, I tend to like very saturated colors.
Yeah, they do. That's what I was saying to you, was that the color options are very different.
Yeah, and I tend to prefer those. I still use shades, though. I still use Seraphim Sepia.
I'm mostly using shades. I tend to use contrast when I want some kind of wild color, almost.
Right.
Or like you and I were saying, I'm super big into shooting through an airbrush.
Yeah. They're great for that.
I also like shooting
shade through an airbrush.
Yeah,
So now that is, I think, a different use case. So I find that if I'm using contrast, I'm using it over like a zenithal or...
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Shade, I'm like slightly tinting something.
Yes, exactly. So for shade, yeah, exactly. A shade paints I'm using to shade. I'm using them on...
Usually, for me, it's terrain.
Okay, yeah, so I tend to use them on metallics. Like if I want to shade, get shade on like a gold, I'll shoot a
purple.
Purple, exactly.
Yeah,
right?
whatever.
Because I wouldn't want to apply that with a brush. So I feel like that'd be too much.
Okay.
But I think it's great for, spraying it on anti-zenithal nadir, I think is what the term is.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to just kind of keep monitoring what makes me use one versus the other. I don't know. There are also certain ones that you become comfortable with, right? I've been painting a while before Contrast came out, and so I like my Reiklin, my Seraphim, and my Agrax, right?
Right.
And I like my non-oil.
Your go-tos.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cass, again.
Oh, thanks, Cass.
For the memberships. Yeah, we appreciate those. They really help us out, help us keep the channel alive and moving along. So appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna see about glazing on some of this.
So like on my city's army, I'm airbrushing contrast over yellow, Doomfire magenta over yellow to get the red.
Right.
And then I'm actually doing the recess wash, literally same thing as this guy. What's right up against the metal.
Right.
I'm using the Garlsberg Crimson.
Right.
To put a little shading in that. And I'm happy with how it's coming out, but I'm wondering, should I be using something different? Should I be using Bloodletter or one of the, Blood Angels contrast?
It also really depends on the contrast at first and the shade, right?
Right.
I'm liking the Skeleton Horde, but it's not the same as Seraphim Sepia. And I think I'm gonna use this contrast Skeleton Horde right now. But I think, weirdly enough, I think the Seraphim Sepia actually has more of an impact.
You want Seraphim Sepia?
No, I mean I'm gonna try this out.
Okay. I use that on my daughter's Zakine. It's the one level of warmth I add to their skin when I'm airbrushing their skin.
Right.
It's the only warm step I give them.
Interesting.
So they're pretty pallid overall, but that made a big difference. And then I one time I forgot it on one, and I looked at the other 39 and the one that I had forgotten it on.
Was it super?
It's huge.
It's
crazy how big of a difference it is. It really brings. They almost look like I'm like. When you don't add that, it doesn't actually make it look like you're trying to paint a living thing.
Right.
It sort of made it look like it'd be cool if their skin was this color.
Right.
But that Skeleton Horde layer on there made it really look like it was like a nice undertone, like it was like a matte, like it was skin.
Yeah. It gives it that yes, painting, especially living things, you need to add a little bit of that, usually like red, right?
Yeah.
That vitae blood color.
Yeah. And I don't know, that's sort of what I think is weird about Skeleton Horde, is I'm not quite sure if it's like the contrast predecessor to Seraphim Sepia. I think it is. But it also feels like it's a little bit the predecessor to Reikland Flesh Shade.
So here...
And I feel like Gilliman Flesh is somewhere in between...
Oh, thank you, Cass, again. Wow, 10 memberships. Thanks, you. Cass. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
very
the lights
much.
are going to be gone for a little bit. It's fun.
Why only... Look at Zach's having a party. I'm not.
I'm
keeping it chill over here.
They've been funky, yeah.
But
thank you, Cass.
Here, why don't you switch to
this guy?
Because I got curious.
I was like, oh, you're just gonna show me? This will be cool.
So this
we just talked about.
Yeah, we just don't show. This is Skeleton Horde.
Okay,
I mean, they're like pretty close. This is Skeleton Horde right here, and this is Seraphim Sepia, and they're like pretty close, right?
Yeah, but see, the Skeleton Horde is a little more red.
Yeah, it has a little bit more to it.
So that's what's weird about it. I'm like, is this a Reikland Flesh Shade
deal or
or is it? And like I was saying, I think Gilliman is actually weirdly in between Agrax and Reikland.
Right.
And is there another one?
For flesh?
Yeah, is there another?
Well, there's Gilliman Flesh.
That's what I'm saying. I think that one is in between Agrax and is kind of Agrax is like neutral, right? I think of Agrax is
like a cold brown, right?
Cold brown, right? And then Reikland is red and Seraphim is yellow. And I'm saying I think this is kind of in between the red and the yellow.
Yeah.
And Gilliman, it feels a little bit in between the cold and the red.
Right.
Me. Yeah. Are there any more brown contrasts? Am I missing one? What's the Rattling
Grime?
That's dark.
That's like Agrax Earthshade, but like
darker.
But much darker.
That's like the Tamiya I made. Basically, let's see if we're back here.
Yeah, Dark Earth Flesh, which is even dark, but still red. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have to keep that red in there to keep the life in it.
Okay. We should be back. Guys, I have no idea. I think our internet just
random
dropped for a sec. Yeah, and actually this is funny because we did one with we ran out of like the Duncan Rhodes
Carass?
No, sorry, we ran out of Dryad bark.
Oh, okay.
And so a while back, and which is a dark brown Citadel area that I like a lot. And So we used the Duncan Rhodes similar color.
Yeah, it's called Carass leather, I think.
But you actually used for this...
Wildwood contrast, because we were also like...
Can I see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Wildwood, that would be related to the Dryad.
Yeah, super dark.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah, it's a dark brown. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just like, we might be running out of Carass leather on short. We might be a little short on it, so let's just use something similar, and it's basically the same.
Basically, yeah.
So...
Nice. Okay. Hey, let's close our poll.
Okay. Looks like Destruction is gonna win.
Clearly gonna win. Now, I do encourage people to reflect upon Cire's observation. Did you truly consider all sports balls, or were you just thinking American football? Yeah. I think
chess. They play chess in the Olympics, right?
Chess isn't a sport. This came up with Meg the other day. Meg, we were talking about sports heroes, and Meg was like, "What about chess?" I was like, "First of all, Meg, you don't have any sports heroes in chess. I don't even know if you know any chess players. But second of all, it's not a sport. There's something else that we were talking about.
Skating, like skateboarding. Is that a sport? That's a sport.
That's a sport. Gorgrunta brown, Patsy.
Oh, I love Gorgrunta. That's probably my favorite. It's like very red, brown, red brown.
Okay. Interesting.
But like way more saturated, so it's still probably not a good substitute for like Reichland.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. You also just kind of get to a point where you're like, there's a lot of different paints, and why am I?
Yeah. What am I doing?
Well, you know, when you start like a new army project, honestly, I tend to not. I often will use a lot of paints I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
And maybe try to broaden my horizons on the technique or a paint or two or something. I enjoy doing that, but a lot of times you want to stick with, you want to find a ratio of somewhat sticking with what you know and then trying a few new things. I think it's like the ideal situation.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are, Does it specifically have to be a sport with... We did say sports ball, so maybe that's on us. But like skateboarding or Destruction's not winning that.
Oh, that's the one that I think Chaos would be good at.
They'd be better than elves. Maybe like weirdly, yes.
I don't know. Skateboarding's weird. You have to like, part of being good at skateboarding is just like accepting that you're gonna fall and hurt yourself constantly.
Yes, true.
Most sports you don't really get constantly injured.
Fair.
Right. You don't, like a football, you are getting your body hit
constantly, but like
a lot, but ideally not. An injury tends to either be bad and you're out for a little bit, or you're fine. In skateboarding, you're just like, you're gonna fall while you practice, right?
I'm trying to figure out like what. Yeah, sorry. Keep going.
No, that's it. I'm
trying to figure out like what do humans win? Because if it's like an agility thing, elves are gonna win. If it's like a brute strength thing, Destruction's gonna win. What do humans win?
Well, you know, we were talking about this with the new Cities of Sigmar book and saying that they kind of went this route of saying like, let's not just look at humans as like the garbage baseline of like the goblins of destruction or of order, right? Let's not just say that they're, you know, dwarves are this, elves are this, blah blah blah. Humans are just kind of in the middle. But they really instead focused on their teamwork. So I guess humans could be good at anything because good teamwork could probably overcome a lot of things. Right. I don't know if that's how Blood Bowl manifests.
It must be, right? They must just be like, they're just good enough at everything.
And then you pull off these synergies or whatever, right? Yeah. I guess that would be
the key to victory.
The key to victory, my guess. Okay, this guy has some weird, funky shoes. They are kind of terrifying. They're like all metal. I think I don't want them. Currently, they're all bronze, but I think I'm gonna go in and
give them a
change up a couple. Yeah, paint something silver or something. Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to do a little bit of precision here, so give me 1 second while I...
Okay, don't shake the table.
Yeah, don't shake the table.
But you said don't
Okay. Don't. Do not. All right, there we go. Now you can shake it all.
Shake it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just.
Are we? Sorry, wait. Oh, so I meant to ask you. Are we basing these guys today?
So I have some. I can, and I probably will towards the end.
Okay.
Just so we can,
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I might do that now because I'm waiting for some stuff to dry.
I could base. I could do some.
Yeah.
You built me one, yeah?
Yep.
Or no? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I could base, but I need to. Oh no, I did push a hole in mine.
Oh right.
I'm worried though that I pushed the hole in a spot that the football is not going to fit on the base. Well, you know what? Whoever wins can figure that out.
Yeah.
Maybe the ogre doesn't need to have the football very often.
We're gonna have like kind of a bad base here, or not a bad base, a bad football field.
Yeah, we're gonna
maintained.
we're gonna do kind of a bad job on the basing.
So that way,
hanging
like you feel so good about it.
Yeah, hang in there with us, guys. We're gonna do not good. We're gonna do not good work.
But we know it's not good.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's a little meta thing going on there.
We will expect you to. We expect you to appreciate that.
Yeah. I want you to know I could have done better when you win this. Come on. I guess I'm only doing one base, so I don't need that much glue.
2 bases?
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
I mean, I can do my own. You're becoming the base guy now, which means you probably because you probably just have to do all of them now, or they'll be all different and weird.
Oh no, I'm just gonna tell people exactly what to do.
But they'll do it different and weird.
That's fine. I'll just yell at them.
Okay. Can you imagine playing a game where the armor is metal?
That would be quite painful.
So in American football, it went from being leather to being like sciencey material, like plastics and stuff, right?
Science. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's like the most recent iterations of football gear are like carbon fibers. Yeah.
Very high quality stuff.
Light and it's supposed to help prevent the injuries, right? That have kind of like plagued football, especially concussion and offensive and defensive linemen getting the disease they get.
TBIs.
What happens when your career from your late teens to
late 30s,
late 30s includes smashing into somebody like once all week long,
all day.
Yeah.
Where's the glue?
What type?
Well, I guess I can just use this. I was gonna use super glue to put these tufts down, but I guess
I have a little bit of super glue.
That's where the glue is.
It's not the best type.
That's fine. Yeah.
But can you imagine metal?
That seems kind of counterintuitive. I feel like more people would get hurt.
Absolutely, because again, they never used the metal in when football started becoming a sport. Like, I don't think they ever at 1 minute did anyone be like,
we should use metal.
Hey, let's bring back Middle Ages armor.
Yeah.
Right? They were like, we're gonna do leather. Right? We're gonna like have leather padding and stuff. I'm trying.
Can you imagine though?
How
cool. How much cooler it would be
if it was metal. I mean, there's also spikes, so clearly it's part of the game. But like, oh my god, just being in metal.
Yeah, think about how much cooler football would be if we had spikes and metal.
Oh my god.
All right, here's an interesting experiment. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use contrast. So around Hobby Collab, we like to put a little bit of wash in our tufts.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I'm going to use the Skeleton Horde to try and, because I think my theory is that it should sink down.
I think it's going to cling.
You think so?
What's it doing?
It's working just like a wash.
Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. I really don't find major differences between the two.
No. Okay, whatever. That's fine, I guess. You see, it looks a little dirty.
I think that it's weird. I think that the viscosity differences between the two are not like if 10 would be like molasses and 1 is like rubbing alcohol.
They're like right next to each other.
I think they're like 6 and 7. I think they're like 3 and 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, it's the same with the cuttlefish paints. His sketch and his glaze are like
They're
5 and 6. They're
Yeah.
like right next to each other. I'm almost like, I also understand why they do that, but what use would you really have for, honey thick paint, I guess?
Yeah, exactly.
But there's got to be somewhere in between.
It's got to be a better way. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily complaining about either product. I like both products. I just don't necessarily know
What
I don't
the
know.
best use case?
Yeah, well, whenever I'm using one, I'm like, should I be using the other?
All right. So I've got some thin down PVA, and I'm just gonna pick a few splotches. Do a little there. I need a better bad brush. There we go. Yeah, just getting some PVA. If you've ever based anything before, you probably know what I'm doing here. Right, and go here, around this side. And a little bit closer to the, a nice, very poorly maintained base. And then what I'm going to do...
Oh, yeah, we are using some of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to grab this.
Oh, the tough makes it really bad. Yeah, it's like they didn't even know the water.
Yeah. So I'm going to grab this. No, I would just dip it, but I'm not actually sure how dry this contrast paint is, so I'm just going to sprinkle it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. On the base.
Yeah, onto the glue, yeah. So there we go. Sprinkle it on. Hopefully that glue was gluey enough.
Hopefully the glue was gluey enough.
Cool. Okay.
All right, I didn't really watch how you did that, but I'm going to just look at the final product.
All right. I need to blow it, so I'm going to... I need to blow it. No one take that out of context.
I was like, are you mad, man? Did you seriously just... Does that really not blow on it or anything? You just completely...
I gotta put it next to my mouth and blow it. All right.
Like, is he insane? What is he thinking?
What do you think? Should we use... We could also use static grass, which we also have. Should I put more grass?
I think more grass.
Okay.
Less brown, more grass. I think the grass should be the majority.
Majority. Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think I need a little more.
It can't be that bad of a... It doesn't... It won't read... It's not reading as a field.
Yeah. There we go.
You get a super chat here. I was waiting for the red lights to pop.
Oh. Chris says, thank you, Chris, by the way, for the super chat. Again, appreciate those. What modern recess games would you turn into a 1904 Olympic sporting event, and what fruit would you recommend taking from a car midway through a game?
This is great.
Okay. Ooh, that's interesting.
You know what I always liked is that thing that you throw the ball up into, and it's a funnel, and then you don't know where the ball is going to come out. But I don't know how the actual sport works.
Yeah, how would that...
Right. And when you're a kid at a playground, you and your friends just like make up a game.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
But
is that an actual sport? Because that thing's pretty cool. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
So it's like a pole, and then there's like a funnel, and then the funnel has like 4 places
yeah.
where the ball can come out.
It's like basketball, but
the ball goes a random direction after you throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try it with static grass just to kind of see real quick.
Should they just do that in basketball? Like, what if basketball just had one of those in the middle?
Just one? Okay.
I mean, seriously, like, tell me how
would it change the game?
Tell me how I'm wrong that might not be just as interesting as current rules for basketball.
Would it be more? It would be maybe more interesting.
Right.
In some ways, that would be more interesting, as the saying goes.
I think it would be a lot. It would cut down on the running back and forth in the court.
Which is yes. Are we trying to get rid of that?
Which, let's not kid ourselves. For when I was a kid growing up, largely had been gotten rid of. Yeah. Basically, there was no one played defense.
True. Okay.
And this is like the late '90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it had gotten pretty ridiculous. Right?
I think that might look a little better with a static grass.
Yeah. Oh, the static. Yeah. So you didn't add any more of the other stuff?
No, it's like 2 layers.
Okay.
So we've got like multiple grasses going on. Very poorly maintained.
It is poorly maintained. I kind of like it. All right, let me get my guy in and do mine then.
Oops.
Yeah, like how would that be?
How would that be a sport?
I mean, for sure it could be a sport.
I don't know. Would they have? How many teams would it be? Because there's multiple baskets.
Oh, like you think there could be 4 teams?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 3 teams to keep it even weirder.
A 3-team sport would be really wild, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably why they don't do it. It'd be too fun.
Yeah.
It'd be too fun.
You get serious.
Olympic don't like fun. Like,
so, okay, that's my pick. What's your pick? What do you want to see turned into? Recess. By the way, I almost want to rail against pickleball right now because he brought this up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to not rant against pickleball.
No ranting.
I want to rant less and be more positive, not talk about how stupid pickleball is. But what do you think?
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Get the glue.
Yeah. At an Olympic level.
And the super glue.
Oh, okay, sorry. How interesting would, like, freeze tag be?
See, I have to say that I have this is like my generation, right, thing of like, remember that game we all played as kids? Let's play it again as adults.
Uh-huh.
And I know that, like, this is literally, like, what we're doing right now. But I'm like, yeah, because they have, like, adult tag. That's, like, a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have it. And I'm kind of like, are you kidding me? You can't think of something more interesting, like, what? That's my, like, criticism with pickleball, right?
I thought you weren't ranting on pickleball.
I'm not.
It's too late.
I'm not. I'm trying not to talk about how stupid pickleball is. But I guess this thing's all clogged up now. This is why Megan and I have started using a paper clip.
Oh yeah, I've started doing that too.
Okay, so I guess stupid super glue. Okay. Let me let me get a paper clip.
Okay.
I'll continue on.
Yes,
this.
continue on with your. You're not ranting.
No. Do you have any pokey things?
I do not. I know where to get one though.
Well, I wasn't trying to make you get up and get the pokey thing. I want to see if I had.
Does this work?
Yeah, that might work. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Ray. So, I don't know about tag. I like. I don't know. I mean,
freeze tag. So that's a team. Is it? I guess it wouldn't be a team sport, would it? I don't know. I'd want to see freeze tag. Because in my head, I can see, like, 4 square. It's like, okay. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun.
Would it?
No, but I can at least kind of see it. But something like what does freeze tag look like?
Played by adults. What
But,
do the players look like?
Yeah,
They're maybe they were. I often do kind of wonder, like, people who in high school just did track and field.
Yeah.
Like track and field or like cross country, like those people, getting those people into a sport where fast burst of movement or endurance is like really good is kind of interesting. And tag could be good for that because you don't have to really be able to handle a ball. You don't really have to be able to execute plays. Yeah. Although I'm sure tag would develop plays, right? You'd have like, is it teams or multiple people?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is it like what? Like how do you
at the Olympic level? Yeah. What does freeze tag look like?
What's the strategy? You know,
yeah.
How many people is it even? Is it 10 people?
I don't know. Yeah, it could be interesting. So you say maybe tag. I'm saying funnel ball thing.
Capture the flag would be fun.
Capture the flag.
I want to see capture the flag, but like
with paintball guns or something.
Yeah, like a massive scale with like tanks and stuff. Today we're gonna have the United States Army versus I don't know.
Oh, I mean that's like war games at that point.
Yes. I mean, there we go.
That's a thing.
Let's have war games. The Olympics, no thanks.
You run up to a car, you reach in, you grab fruit. What are you hoping it is?
Oh, is this?
This is the second part to Christmas.
This is the second part. Okay.
Yeah. Unless I moved you on from
a whole watermelon.
I was thinking watermelon. I was like, well, you know. So what's really funny in the U.S. We can't do anything without like there being like a profit center behind it. Right?
Yeah.
But in Europe, they instead of having Gatorade on the side, they have watermelon cup.
Oh, interesting.
because apparently it's very healthy.
Yeah.
It has things,
the stuff you need. The stuff the plants crave.
And I guess there's a degree to which it helps hydrate you better.
Yeah, it's like mostly water.
Right. Yeah. So, but a whole watermelon is a problem when you're on the run. You can't. Really, what are you gonna do? You're gonna smash. You have to smash it, and you're gonna waste a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then, but if you could get like a small basketball, one of the small baby basketball sized watermelons.
Yeah.
And you could smash it on the ground while you're running. And you might have to jettison one half of it, but you could at least take half of it, and you could be scooping it out while you're running.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty good. Watermelon or a durian fruit.
No.
That we just stop everyone else from participating.
No durian.
All right, so I've got this sponge here.
Okay.
You wanna? This is gonna be complicated. Can you give me the front?
Oh, this is right. I was like, shouldn't you have done this already? But no, because you want the line to be painted on.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard because there's not actually a good spot to put it.
Do you want to use a tweezers and rip that up?
Nope.
So you can,
I'm going for it.
Nope, okay.
I'm going for it.
I like this. Wait, can I steal a bunch of the grass before you get going?
All right, we got our sponge.
And then
yeah, we got our sponge here. I'm going for it. I'm trying to get a straight line.
This is going to be easy for me because of where I put my guy on the base. And that sounds like a brag, but this guy's at a horrible place on his base. You slightly nudge this ogre and he's falling over.
Okay. That came out okay. But I feel like I needed more paint.
So my answer to Chris's question... Oh, sorry. You did the non-static grass first.
Yes, I did regular grass first.
Okay. And we did almost the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to try to give a better answer. I mean, your answer is good, but it's hilarious. No, durian is not a good answer, actually. Watermelon, I think, is not the worst answer. Like a nice big handful of, like, big, green, crispy, juicy grapes?
Just a handful of grapes.
Like, still on the vine, so I'm not managing each one individually. What do you think?
No, that'd be good.
That'd be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like...
And then you could eat it like a cartoon where you, like, put it in your mouth.
Oh, that's true. And then pull it out.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Grapes would be good. An apple could be good if it was a good apple variety. If I got like a...
Yeah, what apple do you not want?
Like Red Delicious or... Honestly, I don't want a Granny Smith. I'm not making a pie or a salad or something.
Fair.
I don't want like a Red Delicious or Granny Smith.
Where do you fall on Fuji apples?
They're okay. Fuji is kind of... So did I tell you about the Apple ranking site? I gotta show you the Apple ranking site. The best apple, according to the Apple ranking site, and I think I agree with this guy, is Sweet Tango. Because it's crunchy, it's a little sweet, and it's also tart.
Okay.
Yeah. And Fuji is, I think...
sorry, I meant to show this off.
Oh, there's the line. You got it.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the little lines.
Fuji is kind of like a... I think he rates it like kind of like in the 80s, like out of 100, something.
Okay, that's
yeah. But Fuji would be not a bad thing to grab if you grabbed a Fuji apple out of someone's car. Peaches. I'm a pretty big fan of peach. Not a plum guy though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plum. What the? Can I be honest? What the hell is going on with plums?
I like plums.
Jesus.
I like
how? Talk like.
Because it tastes good.
Like. Really?
Yeah. Plums taste good.
I'm furious to find out that you like like. What do you like about plums?
You know, they're kind of sour. They're kind of sweet. I mean, that's really it.
What would make you like? You would pick a. Or what about a pluot? That's. Have you ever had a pluot?
What the hell is a pluot?
A pluot is a blend between an apricot and a plum. And for a while, they were actually calling them dino fruit. They were being marketed as like prehistoric fruit from the era of the dinosaurs. Of course, like they weren't actually suggesting that was the case, but
I don't know.
Fruit has to be marketed, by the way, non-Americans like that.
Yeah, we can't. We won't eat something unless it's dinosaur.
Unless its marketing is completely idiotic.
Yeah.
All right, can I try?
Yeah, you go for it.
Here's mine so far.
Yes.
Okay.
Sick.
All right.
He's not on screen.
There's mine so far.
Yes, you have a much nicer.
It is a little nicer than yours, which I think is okay.
Yeah.
And then I just do the white.
Yeah, just dab it off a couple times.
That's a pretty good look. I'm actually gonna go kind of down the middle.
You should dab it off first, onto here or something, so you can get an idea what the pattern's going. Hey, there, okay, there you go. Okay. Then yeah.
Then come on, I dab too much off. That's glue.
Yeah, don't dab it in glue. You need more white.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, don't use white ink. Use actual white paint for this.
Yeah,
Which is what I did.
Don't use white ink. Don't use glue.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't use Elmer's glue that is white.
Yes.
Currently.
Wow, thank you, Cass, again. Wow, Cass is just look. Cass is our benefactor now.
Lighting up the room.
Yeah. Cass actually owns the show now, unfortunately. Which means it means we have to make him a mod.
I kind of can't you like plums. Like does Holly like plums? You guys pick up? Do you guys buy multiple plums from the grocery store and bring them home and have plums in the house and eat them and not just throw them away? Do you go to the store, buy a bag of plums, and finish them?
No, I think people will bring us plums. Like my grandparents will bring us plums.
Are they bringing nice plums from their plum tree or something?
Yeah, they've got real nice plums.
I'm just trying to figure out what this is all about. We had a plum tree in my backyard growing up.
And you pick them up and throw them in the garbage?
Pretty much, yeah. It sucked. We had a plum tree, a pear tree, 2 apple trees, and the plum tree sucked. It was bees everywhere all the time.
See, bees like them.
Yeah.
So,
what does that tell you?
That we're saving.
Yeah. Okay.
I know. I like plums. Are they my favorite? No. I think I would eat most plums over most apples.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, where do pears fall in this?
Pears? I used to really dislike pears. Pears are probably a little bit higher now, though. Did pears get better? Are pears like a Brussels sprouts thing?
Yeah. This is weird. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, a lot of people don't know this. Brussels sprouts did taste worse when you were a kid.
Yeah.
If you're ever wondering. And it's just a modern Brussels sprout.
Yeah.
The Brussels sprout people got tired of everyone hating their food and made a better version of it.
Fix it.
No, I think that pears are here's the problem with a pear. It's you get it, it's rock hard.
Yeah.
And then you really shouldn't, but you get that pear, and then somewhere that pear has a 4-hour ripeness window. And if you eat that pear during that 4-hour ripeness window, it's often amazing.
Yeah.
It's super juicy, it's sweet, it's got that pear flavor.
Yeah.
It's really good. But if it gets too ripe, all the moisture goes away. Yet somehow it's like a pasty pulp.
Yeah, it's kind of mushy.
It goes from either being a hard, crispy, no flavor thing, at this point, this is just a terrible apple.
Yeah, true.
To being basically a terrible banana. It pretty much...
in terms of texture.
Basically, a pear has a 4-hour window where it's a pear that you would want to eat, and then it's a bad banana.
Is this I need a spectrum from apple to banana, and that's what a pear is.
Yeah, it's somewhere in there. Okay, well, I'm just... The apple call out is crazy to me. I cannot believe you would...
Hey, look,
I've been in apples a little more recently, though. I will say that.
Okay, well, I feel like you might be biased then.
I might be biased temporarily because I've been super into apples, but I will say this: plums have always
been down on plums.
Kind of suck.
There you go. Yeah. You wanna focus?
Okay, yeah. The line is pretty cool, actually.
Nice. Yeah, it really sells the field idea.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna give this guy a little bit of a, I don't know, freehand some. I really okay. The smart thing to do is to go in with a plan with freehand.
Definitely.
I don't have one.
All right.
I'm just gonna go for it.
But I like the call out.
Yeah, you gotta. I gotta admit, I'm gonna do. What do I want? Do I want a stripe? Nah, I want a triangle.
I think I had my glasses, and I wanted to see what chat's up to.
They're right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, chat, do as I say, not as I do. I'm just going for it. Drawing the outline of this little triangle here. And then I'm going to go back and do a little bit of weathering on this. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Also, it's like the orc team, and it's a troll, like, is he going to have perfectly maintained, perfectly symmetrical shapes on his armor? Probably not.
All right, let's see what people think about our different takes on fruits. Prunes are better than plums for foods. I agree. I actually like prunes.
Yeah, they're yeah.
And like
I like prunes.
A really good like port will taste like prunes, and it's so good. If you get like depends on the type of port, but like a really good.
I don't know. Are you talking like where you park a boat? Where you park
wine?
Where you park a boat?
Yeah. You get a great
taste of sea.
Yeah. Yeah, prunes are good. I agree. Plums are horrible. I don't understand what's
so wrong.
I just don't even understand.
You're radicalizing me. I think plums are good.
Next time you have a good plum, you bring a plum down to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it. You talk me into it. I'll try it. I'm just like, so there's this type of plum called they call them Italian plums, and you can get them around here at specialty stores, like a place that sells like European. There's like it's called Oakmont produce. It doesn't mean anything to anybody outside the area, which includes you, because there's like 2 of them in the South Bay down here. But they sell like weird produce that you don't see in a normal American supermarket. And they have these thin-skinned ones, and this is the tree that I had growing up as a kid.
Okay.
But ours had a disease, and we were kind of told never to eat them.
Well, that might be why you don't like plums.
No, hold on.
I was eating diseased plums.
I've had these from the store. And they're thin-skinned, and they're a little oblong shaped. And they're okay, but not really. And they're okay. They're interesting to cook with.
Are you thinking of an eggplant?
No, it's not an eggplant, but it is. It's like a matte kind of purple color.
Okay.
And it's like this big, and it's shaped like it's a oblong.
Okay.
Yeah. And those are pretty good, but like just like the plums in the store, and the pluots in the store, just like this, just stringy. They have like that stringiness kind of going on. That grainy, stringy kind of texture.
Nah, I've never had that with plums.
And they're like tart, but not like.
Well, they are tart and a little sour.
Yeah, but not in a way that like a good apple is or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I maybe when I get gifted some plums, I'll bring some down.
Okay. Next time you get gifted plums.
Yeah. I mean, I won't go out and buy them. I will say that.
Yeah.
So
because they're stupid. Okay, so let's see. Thanks, Liberty Fire,
for
gifting
Liberty
membership to Small King. I hope Small King appreciates it and is enjoying. I hope everybody's enjoying this plum talk.
Well, yeah, welcome to Plum Talk.
Welcome to Plum Talk for real. Listen, we want to take a moment to once again just remind you guys about the marathon coming up.
That's right.
This Saturday.
The whole reason we're doing this.
A lot of you in here right now probably already know about this, but I did see some new names earlier. Super cool. And we want to remind you guys we are giving away a fully painted, this stuff we're painting right now, the refs and the 2 teams, everything. We're giving the whole box away. It's got the pitch. It's got everything you need to play, the dice, everything. So we're going to be giving that away. Sunday, we're going to be doing a marathon. We're going to be painting the rest of this. A bunch of us are here. We rotate in or out. Marathons are a lot of work around here. And in some ways, we hate them. But they're also an insane amount of fun.
Yeah.
So they kind of amp up what it means to have a YouTube channel, which is it's a lot of fun and a lot of work, but you crank up your stress level and crank up the fun level at the same time.
Yeah.
So we continually torture ourselves every few months.
Yes, for your entertainment
and do one
and benefit.
Yeah, definitely. So please do consider swinging by, checking that out, and hanging out with us even a little bit. Even if you can jump in for a little bit, a couple hours, half an hour, say hi, whatever. We appreciate it. That is this
Sunday.
This Sunday, 10 a.m. our normal start time.
Yeah, let your friends know.
Let your friends know. And it's cool because I do see a few new names in here today, which is nice. Next thing we want to do is we did get a critique.
Yes.
And it's kind of an interesting one because it's not painting.
That's right.
It is building, right?
Correct.
How are you doing on your guy? Should we check and see?
Do you want to do a quick check-in before we do critique? Is that what we're doing?
I think so. Let's do it.
Sweet. All right. So you want to switch me over here?
Yes. Sorry.
So this is where I'm at. Oh, no. This is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in a little. There we go. Focus.
Nice. Okay.
All right. We got a guy. We got a troll. He's pitching here. So I've got the glove done. I've got his face done. Notice our little helmet here.
His pose is very odd.
It's a weird pose.
You said pitching, and I was like, oh my gosh, he is pitching.
Yeah.
This is not how you throw a football.
No, yeah, he's like pitching a baseball.
This is how you throw a baseball, yeah.
We've got our Imperial helmet here, actually. Mm-hmm. He's using it as a knee pad. And this is what I am currently working on is this shoulder pad, which was purple. I gave it a big triangle. It's not wanting to focus, but you can see there.
Here, I can.
All right.
I can pull out just a little bit. Oh my god,
it's like
these innuendos today.
Pull out, blow it. Yeah, so I've got this here. I might put a number there. I might put a transfer there. I'm not really sure yet, but just getting a little bit of extra freehand in there. What I'm going to do next, actually, maybe I'll show you real quick while I have it, is I'm going to grab some of that color from below and just kind of etch away at this, at the edges here, so it looks like a little like chipped and scraped like this.
I like it.
Like that. And there you go. And this looks a little more damaged, right?
Yes, actually.
There we go. Yeah, so it's like kind of chipping away. Cool. Yeah, you'll show us what you're working on?
Yeah, so here is the ogre. He's nearly complete. I'm excited to get a decal on him. You see the line there on his base, the marker.
Yep.
He's crossing it, and he's got his bronze armor to match the rest of the Imperial nobility team. He's got his yellow football pants.
Yeah, his fake LSU.
And he's got his purple stripe down his pants. He's got a purple shirt kind of underneath all of his armor. And there he is. He's pretty much nearly complete. I might play around a little bit more with some metallic stuff going on his shoes. His shoes are kind of a big metal mess.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah, they're huge, and there's like a lot going on them. And I'm kind of not sure what to make of it, I'll be honest. It's almost like, you talk about like one of the cool things about Games Workshop models often is everything's very well defined.
Yeah.
You don't have like a cape running into a satchel and you're like, where does the cape end? Where's the satchel?
Right.
End? You might have that with a third party, or I hate to throw them under the bus, but sometimes Reaper minis do that. And so there's a little bit of that going on in his shoes, I'll be honest. There's like a lot going on. I can't really tell
what's
cloth. I've sort of lost track below the knees, as I'm losing track of like cloth versus is the shoe have cloth on it?
Right.
Should that have been more of his pants? It's too late for that. I mean, I guess I could sit here and paint it up, but I'm not going to. And I don't mean that in like a lazy way. I'm saying like I think there's a case to be made that the cloth is like shoes that are pulled up.
Yeah, and it looks correct as it is now. So
it definitely looks correct from a distance. I would say that if you got in close and really checked things out, it might not. I don't know. Listen, Cass, thanks again for gifting memberships today. We really appreciate it. We'll keep thanking you as you keep gifting them because we do really appreciate it.
Yes.
Anyway, these guys are coming out cool. I like it. How's your guy? I'm going to punch him.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah. I did finish up the little... Yeah, there you go. So he looks nice and beat up. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice and scraped up.
Your guy's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
other than his crazy feet that I was just complaining about, the ogre is actually not much going on.
Yeah, he's like a big guy in armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy has a bear trap on his foot, which I still need to paint. So, I don't have shoes to worry about, at least. But, yeah, here we go.
Is he barefoot?
Well, besides the bear trap.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look. Captain Mannering's big supporter of the channel, Mandrill, super great dude, has done a... Ursula Creed, right? That's who this is. So he has done a scratch build here that he's using for Ursula. He wants this to be Ursula Creed. Do you know where this fur thing comes from, Saray, or just somebody in chat?
So I think that comes from Cursed City?
It's a vampire. Okay.
No, it's not a vampire. I think it's from Cursed City. I think it's he's like because
I see the
or is it oh my gosh, I can't remember if it's Cursed City or if it's 40K. He's like I can picture it in my head. He's like a duelist. He's like a very haughty Imperial man.
Rogue Trader.
Rogue Trader, thank you. Yeah.
Blackstone Fortress.
Yeah, Blackstone Fortress. So, yeah.
I would have believed you if it was like a vampire.
Yeah.
Probably. But,
I mean, yeah, you could definitely see he has the right,
So, Captain Mannerings was kind of just asking thoughts, pose. He was asking a little bit about the skirt. I have to say that the skirt is not quite selling it for me. And I think it's because it seems like, why would she have that on? Like, it doesn't seem necessary. Like, whatever's going on with her legs, there's armor and plating. So it's clearly just decorative, right? It's not... So I almost would be... Okay, I'm gonna toss out some crazy thoughts, Captain Mannerings, if you're watching or if you watch after the fact, which I think you often do. I almost feel like this is going to be a lot of work, so I know, I'm aware. I would almost try to green stuff up the skirt texture, like, almost to make it... I don't know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I was going to say, like, more than just a skirt. Can we come back to the skirt?
Yeah.
I want to hear what you have to say real quick.
Well,
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
I also think you should green stuff more fur and somewhere.
Well, so what I was going to say is actually just that. You have this fur going on and this kind of... I kind of agree it feels almost out of place skirt. Mm-hmm. What if you made that fur as well? Almost like a fur pelt she's wearing across her.
Okay, good. So then that could be... That's what I was going to say. I like wanted to see the fur texture come up here more, or the skirt. But if you made that all fur, and then you made it like a pelt, that could be interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like going up her chest and up, like, around over her shoulders. Yeah.
He also asked about the pose. I think the pose is great.
Yeah.
I think the legs, once it's painted up, it'll blend together well. I am curious, even a little bit of putty can change the way a pose is, the way it sits. But if I'm picturing it without the putty, I think it's great. I think it works for the putty as well. But the way her head is kind of like, she's like kind of, and the sword over the shoulder, she's kind of like, whatever, I don't really care what's going on. I feel like you should elevate her. She should be standing on something.
Yeah, okay, so adding the basing or something.
Yeah. She has a look that she's above it all.
Yeah.
You should make her physically stand taller, too.
Xia says making her skirt longer to the floor, perhaps. And I agree with that. Yeah. Again, like the skirt over what is on her legs doesn't quite add up.
Right.
It's like, why would she have that on? I understand that there's a degree of baroqueness going on in Imperial models, especially things like Rogue Traders.
Yeah.
But ornateness and such. But I'm not into... I don't know, I don't quite buy that.
Something you could do if you do want to keep, if you want to keep it this way, I think would be interesting is what if that was like, almost like, okay, you see them on Space Marine models. What if like that was just, if you want really lean into the gothicness, it's just a bunch of like words on there, like a prayer all across it.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool when you paint it.
Yeah, so it's not like a skirt, it's almost like a something she's like tied around
like
herself.
An apron
Yeah.
kind of type thing. Yeah. That I like that.
Yep.
That kind of sells it that way. I am thinking about the skirt idea now though, because I almost now want to see like with the weapons she has, I almost want like a trail on the skirt even.
Oh yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool. And you could like thematically speaking, I would even fold it down over the rim of the base.
Okay.
After and then like have it kind of end there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that too. Almost
that'd be sort of hip.
Yeah.
Maybe give it a little because this is a guard commander.
Yes.
Ursula Creed. So give it a little bit of like dirt. Maybe on it too, like up the rim a little bit.
Yeah.
That could be cool. Yeah, it's a cool idea, and it's a cool solid start base. I do like Cire's idea. Well, so if you had her up on something,
yeah,
and you had a skirt trail, then you could have it.
Even longer. Yeah.
And that could also do your other idea, which is it could have like sacred text or something, you know, on it.
Yeah. I'm also curious, like there's a reason you're not using Ursula Creed, right? And I'm wondering is it because you have like a theme with your guard army that might also inform.
Ursula Creed has a model.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's like standard Cadian.
Okay.
She's like fake Patton. is what I say. But if you have like a theme, like that might also inform, any other things you might change about.
You were bringing this up before stream. Like, what does the rest of your army look like? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I was gonna say is don't be like sculpting when people like the kind of stuff people do with green stuff can be insane.
Yeah.
And some of it, I mean, there are golden demons that are like entirely sculpted.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you're like, so they sculpted that, then they painted it. That's crazy. Remind yourself that that's all they did that year.
Yeah.
They didn't paint a whole army.
Yeah, don't feel pressure to go crazy with it.
Right. Now, I'm saying this because a couple years back, I had started to add so many Stonehorns to my Beastclaw Raiders list, and every Stonehorn is like this, and then off to the side like this.
Okay, yeah.
And so it's kind of ridiculous, because you have 5 of them in an army, and they're all, forward with their head turned to the right.
Yeah.
And so I actually did some stuff to make one of them looking straight.
Right.
After having 4 and getting the 5th one, I was like, I've got to fix this. And it was scary because I had to sculpt fur to fill in the neck.
Okay.
So, because once the head turns this way, there's this.
Yeah, there's a gap.
Right. Well, no, there's no gap. But you had cut it and turned the head back, and now there's 2 gaps.
Oh,
here,
gotcha.
Right? And there's definitely there's a big one here now, right? So yes, there's a gap when you turn it after not fitting it flush, right? But it was very easy. Doing the fur was crazy easy, and I kind of looked up and everyone basically tells you online that it is one of the best things you could possibly start trying to do is fur, because you roll it out and you take a hobby knife and you just cut.
Yeah, it's basically just making
little tiny triangles. Yeah, very acute triangles, long acute triangles, basically. Yeah.
Sorry, so I'm looking at this again.
Yeah.
And I think there's actually a couple of other things you can do. If you don't want to do all that, and you can almost make this look like, it's kind of hard to tell from the model. I can't tell I think the reason it's sticking out is kind of odd to me. Is that
a bigger picture?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you could. I almost want to see, like, if you cut the center out of the skirt and then added, like, just green stuff, like a tiny bit of cloth going up around on the inside of the coat, it would look like she's wearing another shirt under it, and it's just going down below her belt. Does that make sense? Like,
yes,
yeah,
yes, I see.
It's almost like a long waist,
like
a long waisted tunic or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe you and maybe you have it. There's like 2 panels on her armor.
Yeah.
Maybe you have it split.
Yes, exactly.
About
so
halfway up that bottom panel.
It looks like she's wearing a long open coat.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good call.
Yeah, I think that would save work.
It would save work.
Yeah.
It's different than our other ideas, but I think it's maybe the easiest one and would look good, I think. Yeah.
You'd have to do just a little bit of work to like turn that skirt into like the bottom of like a long shirt. Yeah, but it wouldn't take that much work.
Because now that I have this closer look and I see her helmet, her head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the long skirt thing kind of does. It's cool.
Yeah. But it feels like there should be more cloth there, right? Especially with the cloth helmet.
The head doesn't. The head looks pragmatic compared to the rest. So I want what Cire's saying is something I would look for ways to reconcile the ornateness of her sword, not by doing anything to her sword. The beast she's wearing over her shoulders, and her jacket, with the pragmaticism of her head.
Yeah,
and I think the thing you're describing could do that, which is to take that the skirt and turn it into like a longer tunic type thing. Painting, well, you'll be able to do this in painting as well, but turning the head into like even connecting it to the head a bit is compelling at that point. Yeah. Interesting.
Cool head though. Is that it almost looks like Star Wars, like Rebel? I think it's supposed to be a Talaran though.
I think it's a Talaran. Yeah. It looks, but you're right. It looks like one of the Endor. Star Wars models. Yeah.
Overall though, great job. I think the pose totally works. I think elevating her up a little bit would kind of like lean into like the personality vibe she's giving off. Like she's like, whatever. I don't care. I'm above all this. Yeah. You know, put her on a rock.
Put her on a tactical rock.
Yeah, tactical rock.
Cass says, I enjoy these streams. This is his Lab Mandro free super chat. Please use those, folks.
Yeah.
I enjoy these streams. It reminds me of just hanging out with friends, painting and building models, talking random things. Those days are awesome. That's kind of
what we're hoping for.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. And thank you again, another membership from Cass. Thank you.
Thank you again, Cass. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed our fruit talk. We had a good day. We talked about fruit. We talked about sports ball.
We talked about
actually, there's a lot of it was those two.
Yeah. We talked a lot. We talked a lot of sports ball.
Cool. One last look at these.
Yeah, let's do one last look. Give me a little rotatey action here. Oh Lord.
Oh gosh.
Oh God.
There
we go. Okay.
And then it stays. It's so weird. Okay. Yeah. There they go.
There they go.
I think the only thing I might have done different. So I'm weird. I kind of like my ogres to have like a weird skin tone.
Yeah.
They painted their ogre to have like a normal
like
Caucasian skin tone. Yeah. And it's always a little weird to me. I feel like ogres are kind of almost like, not alien is the wrong word to use, but like
they're not human.
They're not human, and I'm like okay with elves and dwarves having like the human collection of skin tones.
Yeah.
But I'm not okay with ogres necessarily. I want there to be something funky about ogre skin.
Yeah.
I want it to be near human, and so this is how I've done my Beastclaw Raiders. They're like Arctic people. They're from like a very cold climate.
Yeah,
and
which is fits the lore.
Exactly. So because I agree, I'm not knowing you said this, but it's pretty pallid.
Yeah.
It's a cool color away from being a vampire.
Yeah.
Really. So I might warm it up a little bit with something. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But because I do like the weirdness of ogre skin, but I don't want it to quite be a vampire.
Yeah.
So I might what I might do is dry brush a little bit of like a warm light warm flesh tone. I have one over on my cities called Fair Skin Highlight, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I mean you could also just super thin down some
contrast
like Gilliman, and it would just give it a little bit. I'm talking like 6-part medium to 1 part.
And just
but it would be just enough to give it a little bit of light.
Okay, awesome. Hey, we did it. One last reminder, we do have this thing happening this Sunday. Please check it out. One other reminder is that we want to thank our Mandrills.
Hey, Cass.
We have a Mandrills. Thanks. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mandrills. Cass, all Mandrills. Timbit says, thanks for the Lego talk while I'm painting. Wait, did we talk about Legos?
Well, we can't now. We have 3 minutes left.
Yeah. Do you do Lego things?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I used to when I was a kid.
Same here. A lot of people have stayed into them as adults.
Yeah.
Unlike, harassing adults who play pickleball. I do not harass adults who do Legos, but I'm often very weirded out by maybe I'm about to call Timbits out. There's a friend we have in the area, Anthony Diamore. Have you ever met him? He also is like super into Legos, and I'm often kind of like weirded out by people who do Warhammer and Legos. And Vino does this too. Our mod Vino.
How do you have so much bandwidth?
Kind of, and then also
how do you do so much?
You sit down and build. Are you not just going to build models? Like you're going to build Legos, and then it's nice because you don't have to paint them. The build is different.
Yeah. No, it's I could see the appeal. It's pretty different.
It's pretty like, different, but I'm often kind of like that. I don't know. I have a hard time.
Yeah.
Reconciling those two hobbies.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, because I mean, Lego's definitely like a hobby. It is intensive, but I was probably more relaxing, honestly. It's like, just follow the instructions, or just go freestyle. Just do whatever you want.
Right.
Everything's gonna fit together.
Right.
It's probably more relaxing. We should get into Lego.
We should
do. Want to paint some Lego?
Should we be? Yeah, we paint them. Yeah. He says it's meaningless talk. Oh, okay. Man.
Whoa! Hey! We had some important plum talk here.
Oh God, boy, did we ever! Awesome. Okay. Hey, I think we did it.
We did it.
We will see you guys Sunday. Saturday, by the way, is Megan's journey. She's working on her plinth, last unicorn, Lady Amalthea plinth. I think she's doing hair this Saturday. So please check that out. Otherwise, we will see you Sunday.
As
we say, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and always be creating. See you guys. Thanks, Cass, for the last.
Thank you. Bye.